The Miami Dolphins again took it on the chin as they were handily defeated by the San Diego Chargers by a score of 30-14. My name is Brandon Howard with Sports Talk Florida, and this is your postgame 3 and out. The Miami Dolphins had difficulty today protecting Ryan Tannehill, and that task got a little more difficult when left tackle Brandon Albert exited the game with an apparent right knee injury, and that meant that guard Dallas Thomas had to slide over to the left tackle spot, and he didn't fare too well there. He had some difficulty with some of the stunts that the San Diego Chargers were throwing his way, and also the speed of Melvin Ingram kind of kept him off balance, and that caused him to either overset or underset straight out of his stance, and sometimes he stood straight up out of his stance. So that gave Melvin Ingram some additional angles to the quarterback, and as you could see, Ryan Tannehill was under duress for most of the contest. And also you had the injury to Mike Pouncey. He had a foot injury, and he never returned to the contest, and he wasn't even able to put any sort of pressure on that foot to walk off the field. So we'll see if the Dolphins even have him for the rest of the year. So that leaves a position group that was already in a state of flux that much more unstable. Secondly, you have the run fits for the Miami Dolphins. They were just not what you want to see at this stage of the season. The linebackers are not filling into their gaps where they need to, and that left the running backs able to get into the second level of the defense. And as you can see, Donald Brown, he accounted for 90 yards, and the San Diego Chargers as a whole, they rushed for 140 yards in this contest. So that's definitely not what you want to see because they were able to get into their 4-minute offense at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they still moved the chains. So definitely need to improve in that area. You don't want to see that this late in the season. Last but certainly not least, you had Danny Woodhead, who was a matchup nightmare for the Miami Dolphins. Whether he was covered by a linebacker, whether he was covered by a safety, he was able to get separation in the passing game, and he accounted for all 4 of the San Diego Chargers touchdowns. So he becomes the first player since LaDainian Tomlinson to account for 4 touchdowns in a single game for the San Diego Chargers. And LaDainian Tomlinson did that in 2007. So now here we are in 2015, and Danny Woodhead ties that record, and he was definitely that movable chess piece that kept the Miami Dolphins on their heels for most of this game. So the Miami Dolphins, they're definitely a beat-up group, but we'll see what they have to offer next Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts at Sun Life Stadium. My name is Brandon Howard with Sports Talk Florida, and that concludes your post-game 3 and out.